March Madness predictions. We're gonna start off where we got cut off last time. The stream just crashed for some reason, so that was kind of weird. But we we uh, we got cut off when I was talking about Kentucky and Santa Clara, and I was saying I don't trust Kentucky at all. So um, that led to me picking Santa Clara. I think Santa Clara is going to win this game. They're playing pretty well right now. Um, Obviously upset St. Mary's, and I think they're going to get the job done against Kentucky. Kentucky's just a really unpredictable team. I could see Kentucky winning this game for sure, but I just feel like Santa Clara is going to win the game.
Yep. Give me Santa Clara too. I like what the Broncos have done. They obviously made an incredible run to the WAC. I think that's what the conference is, anyways. But they're playing hot. Kentucky is hot and cold. They're inconsistent, and I can't really bet on these inconsistent teams come tournament time. They obviously have more talent than Santa Clara, but they don't have the consistency. So I'm taking the Broncos. The Broncos are a sleeper team. I mean, they could potentially beat Iowa State. I'm not quite too sure, but I got them. I got them winning by like a couple points. I got them winning by like
Yeah.
3.
Okay. That brings us to the last game of the Midwest region. It's number 2 seed Iowa State taking on Tennessee State. This one's pretty straightforward. Iowa State's going to win this game by quite a bit, probably. Iowa State's moving on.
Yeah, really straightforward too. Tennessee State. I I don't know much about them. They're like in the hundreds for Ken Palm. Iowa State. Obviously, that was Taven Lipsey, Milan. Like they just have more talent. They're more athletic. They're just a better team. This is one of the easiest picks of the whole bracket. It's even easier than picking the one seeds in my opinion. Some of them at least. So give me Iowa State to beat them by 25.
Okay. Okay, so we got 2 of them down now. We're moving
Yep.
on to what the title of this video is, the West and the South. We're going to start with the West because that one's very interesting. Um, Arizona takes the top seed here. They are taking on the 16 seeded Long Island Sharks. Now, Long Island's been getting a lot of publicity just because of their fan section and stuff. Um, but LIU, pretty good team, honestly. It's just unfortunate that they got Arizona because Arizona is as hot as it gets right now. They won the Big 12. They only lost 2 games this regular season against in a really tough Big 12 conference. So I think Arizona is going to take care of business because they've kind of got a tricky little region here. So I think they need to get this one out of the way, get it done, and win quickly.
Yeah. Arizona obviously is going to win this game. I'm not gonna lie, Arizona's probably my national champion at this moment. I
Yeah,
picked them in all my
I
brackets.
completely agree. They're
They're my
same here.
favorite team. Only
What's
thing
up,
they don't
chap?
do is they have a low 3-point percentage, but like they get a lot of points from their paint and they play great defense and they just look unbeatable at this point. So I give them respect for playing in the Big 12 and they obviously won it. So obviously they're going to beat a 16 seed. My only concern is going into Sweet 16, but for now they're easily winning their first 2 rounds. So they're going to beat them by 30, Long Island.
Okay. Moving on to the 8-9 game, Villanova takes on Utah State. Now, Villanova, we've kind of just been like on Villanova most of the year because they were third in the Big East, but they really weren't that good. And you look over to Utah State, and they were one of the better mid majors um, in the country this year. And I don't know a single soul who's picked Villanova to win this game. And I'm picking Utah State because Utah State's playing really good, and Villanova just isn't that good. So they don't really have any impressive wins to me. Um, they lose to some bad teams. Utah State just takes care of business in the regular season. I think it'll be a good game though, but I have Utah State prevailing.
Yeah. Obviously, 9 seeds are more likely to win than
Yeah.
8 seeds. 9 seeds are 52% against the 8 seeds. So I'm going to pick more 9 seeds. I'm probably going to pick 3, maybe 2, but we'll see. But obviously, Utah State is criminally underseeded. They should be like a 7 seed, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
So Villanova should probably be a 10 seed. So it's really a no brainer here. They're obviously favored. They're obviously a 9 seed, which is good historically in 8-9 matchups. So give me Utah State to beat Villanova by 10. I think they're going to beat them by quite a bit here.
Yeah.
And so, yeah.
Yeah. Next up, 5 seeded Wisconsin takes on 12 seed High Point. Now, this is probably one of the most talked about games I've seen. Um, a lot of people have High Point winning this game. Now, they're saying High Point reminds them of Oakland a couple years ago with Jack Golke and that one dude who doesn't shoot any other shots but 3 pointers. But Wisconsin's playing as good as anyone right now, man. They had a really good conference tournament. They ended off the regular season great, and their guards are just absolutely insane. And I think
Yeah.
it's enough to take them past High Point. This is an upset alert game because it's a 12 and a 5. But I think Wisconsin gets the job done closer than a lot of people expect. But I don't know if High Point has the power to beat Wisconsin, who's beaten a lot of good teams this year.
Wisconsin is obviously going to win this game, in my opinion. Nick Boyd is just very good. He's averaging about 50% field goal percentage, 21 points a game. And High Point, I mean, they're all right, but Wisconsin can literally beat anybody. They can beat Michigan. So, like, I'd hope you beat a team that's not in the Big Ten and that's not that good to say the least. So,
Yeah.
obviously, they've had some slip ups. They lost to Indiana, and I think High Point and Indiana are pretty similar in at least standings wise. Their Indiana is like is the next 4 out team, so they'd probably be like a 12 seed if it wasn't for the automatic bid stuff. But I'm still picking Wisconsin
Yeah.
to beat them by a lot. They're winning by like 25. Not much explanation needs to be said on that one.
Yeah. Moving on to the 4 seeded Arkansas Razorbacks, who just won the SEC. They're taking on the Hawaii Rainbow Warriors. Now, I don't know much about Hawaii, but I do know that Arkansas has the best guard in the country in Darius Acuff, and he's the main reason why I have Arkansas winning this game. He is so good. He can take over a game by himself, and I think that's going to be the main reason. Now, a thing to look out for: Hawaii plays extremely slow, and Arkansas plays extremely fast. So I'm interested to see how they clash, and who wins that battle of speed versus slow. Um,
Yeah.
so, but I think Arkansas will get the job done. Acuff is continuously impressing me, and I think Arkansas gets the job done.
Yeah. Arkansas is easily a Final Four contender for me. Like, they're really good. Hawaii, though, they're really good too. I don't know if you know this, but they have like a top 30 defense in the country.
Do
Like,
they
their
really?
defense, it's 40 or 30. Like, it's really high for a mid major. Like, their defense is legit, and they're obviously a slow paced team. So I just don't like slow paced teams against SEC teams. It's a recipe for disaster, but they got a really good defense. So one of the better defenses in the country going up against a top 15, top 10 offense. So I actually like Hawaii's odds if they can play
Yeah,
defense, but
yeah.
I don't think they can stop Arkansas. DJ Wagner's been getting good minutes for him too. He's been playing pretty well as their backup point guard. So Arkansas is going to win by like 20. So
Hmm. Okay, moving on. Interesting game here. 6 seeded BYU will take on 11 seeded Texas. Texas just beat NC State last night on a game winner with 1 second left. Um, I really want to pick Texas here, but Texas to me this year has just been so inconsistent. Their defense is not good. And it's just they're just asking for Devonta to score like 35 to 40 points on them. Um, and when Devonta does that, it's tough to beat BYU. Now BYU has not been playing good at all in their last 10 games. I'm pretty sure they're 5-5. Um, but I think BYU will pull this game out in a really close game. Really close game. Would not be surprised if the Longhorns win this game though. Um, to me, they're just asking whoever wins this game is just going to lose to Gonzaga probably. That's my guess, but I think BYU wins a close game. Devonta takes over, um, But yeah, give me BYU.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie. I really like BYU's little region here. They have a really good area drawn out for them. They have Gonzaga, which is without Braden Huff, and they have Purdue, which Purdue never wins in March. So I'm not betting on either of those teams, two teams to do well. So BYU obviously is going to beat Texas. Texas defense is disgustingly bad. I don't care how good their offense is.
Yeah.
You can't win in March if you can't play defense. So Robert Wright, I'm going to predict he's the leading scorer, not AJ DeBonza. I think that he'll go for 30. So BYU's easily going to win. I could see him easily beating Gonzaga and going as far as the Elite Eight. Honestly, looking at these four matchups with BYU, Miami, Purdue, and Gonzaga,
Yeah.
this bottom region sucks. So give me BYU. They're going to be a dark horse.
Okay. That brings us to Gonzaga. 3-seeded Gonzaga takes on Kennesaw State. Um, I don't like either of these teams. I don't know anything about Kennesaw State, but I know that they suck at football. And I
That's
know that
true.
they're not going to do anything
Hold
against
on, they
Gonzaga.
actually had a
But
chance of making the
they
playoffs this year in football. I'm not even.
they had a solid year. They all I
Yeah,
remember though
yeah,
is last year college football 25. Everyone was just trying to rebuild Kennesaw State. That's all I remember about
yeah.
Kennesaw State. But I think Gonzaga wins the game. To me, this is a 3-14 game where it might be closer than anyone than a lot of people expect, or it might just be the blowout of the weekend. So, but I do have Gonzaga winning this game. They're a weird team to me, but I like them to win this game.
Yeah, Gonzaga easily going to beat Kennesaw State. Kennesaw State is like 150 in Ken Palm. Gonzaga is one of the best analytical teams in the country. They don't do anything wrong analytically, but they don't have Braden Huff, so they're going to have to rely on Graham Akey. But I think that's enough to get the job done. I do think they'll lose sooner rather than later, though, in like next round or the Sweet 16. So they'll win by 20.
Okay, that brings us to the 7-10 game. Two teams that we've kind of been liking this year so far. Miami Hurricanes are taking on the 10-seeded Missouri Tigers. Now, uh, if you would have asked me this 2 weeks ago and I knew who this game was, I probably would have said Missouri. Um, but then I saw Missouri lost to Oklahoma, and then Missouri really didn't do much in the SEC tournament. So that was kind of a big factor for me. They're not playing great. Miami um, obviously did solid in the ACC tournament. Um, so I'm picking Miami as the 7 seed, winning this game. This is another toss up game for me. But I just think Miami has more to gain from this, and they've just kind of been better against
Yeah,
mid teams. So
yeah. Miami is easily going to beat Missouri. Missouri's been really bad lately. Miami's been fine as of lately. Miami's just been really hot though over the last few months. Start off cold. They're just a lot more into shape compared to Missouri. I'm just going to say that Missouri kind of slid themselves out of the tournament towards the end of the
yeah,
season. So I can't just bet. I can't bet on cold teams. I really don't care. So Miami's going to win by 5.
okay. That brings us to the last game in the region with a 2-seeded Purdue Boilermakers, who just won the Big Ten on Sunday, takes on the 15-seeded Queens. And I don't know what their mascot is, so I didn't say it. Um, Purdue obviously is fixing up that defense. I'm still a little worried about them because they're playing good now, but they don't. They have a tendency to not play very good come tournament time. So I think they're going to win this game. Queens know nothing about them. It would be kind of funny if Queens won this game. I mean, Queens is averaging 80, 85 a game. So there's that, if that means anything. Um, but I think Purdue wins this game. Queens came in as a lower seed in their conference tournament and won it. So they're like 21-13. So they don't really have the greatest resume of all time. But I think Purdue gets the job done anyway.
Yeah, this one. Really easy for me, even though Purdue, like I said, is really overseeded. They glazed them by winning the Big Ten. They're still better than Queens. Their offense is top 5 offense in the country, and I mean Queens really doesn't have or doesn't really stand a chance with all this power on offense. So defense is another thing with Purdue, but it'll push them past the first game. They'll win by 25.
Okay. Moving on to the South region. This is probably the toughest one. Probably the toughest region. The South region is currently topped with number 1 seeded Florida, who had a pretty disappointing SEC tournament. They're playing the winner of Prairie View A&M or Lehigh, which is happening right now as we speak. Um, I don't think it's going to matter. Florida's going to win the game. Um, I I don't know what to think about Florida right now, man. We were pretty high on them a week ago, and then they kind of just got shellacked in the SEC tournament. So, but give me Florida. I think they win this game by 20. Moving on to the next game.
Yeah, obviously Florida's size and their ability to rebound the ball is obviously going to push them past this game. It's not even close. Like, can't compete with size. Florida has the tallest player in college basketball. Granted, he's on the bench, but
He's
they're
still
they're gonna
there.
win. They're gonna win by like 25, 30.
Okay. Interesting 8-9 game here. Clemson Tigers taking on the Iowa Hawkeyes. Now, neither of these teams had fantastic conference tournaments. They ended off the season a little bit skittish, a little trending down. I will say Clemson did beat North Carolina, though, so they had a pretty good win there. Um, but this is an interesting game to me because you look at Clemson, and Clemson looks to be more of a team kind of area. They got a lot of guys averaging 9, 10 points per game. But then you look over at Iowa, they got Bennett Sturts, who's probably going to be a top 15 pick in this draft. Um, and he's really freaking good. Can't lie, he's really good. Um, and to me, that's probably what's going to push Iowa to win this game. Now, I hate saying Iowa's going to win this game, but I think they just are because Bennett Sturts will just be the best basketball player out there. Now, if Bennett Sturts played like he did in the Big Ten tournament, they're going to lose this game in a close one. Clemson also is notorious for just losing games that are important. Every game in March is important, and we saw it last year. They lost to McNeese in the first round. So, um, give me Iowa in a close game. Bennett Sturts will play good in this game. He will play
Yeah,
good.
I'm gonna have to disagree with you. I think that Iowa's tournament performance was god awful. Like, they played horrible in the Big Ten. They've definitely lost my respect, and Clemson really exceeded my expectations in the ACC. And Clemson is number 20 in defense. So their defense
Yeah.
is no joke. Their
Hey,
defense
I'm
is really
I'm
good.
rooting for Clemson, man. I'm rooting for Clemson. I freaking
Iowa,
hate
Iowa,
Iowa.
Iowa's just been playing really bad as lately. I just can't pick a cool team. You always got to pick the hot teams in March. That's a tip for you guys. But Clemson, I mean, it's more hot. I was more cold. It's pretty simple. I'm getting Clemson. They're also probably mad that of the McNeese games still. So I mean, you'd think that they'd want to win now. So I'll pick them by 5. They'll win by 5.
Okay. Speaking of hot teams, number 5 Vanderbilt takes on number 12 McNeese. Now Vanderbilt, I've been seeing a lot of people are taking McNeese just because they have Amir Orakan again, and they won one game last year as a 12 seed. So who knows? Anything's possible. But you're going up against Vanderbilt, who's just playing really, really well right now. Um, they gained my respect after beating the tar out of Florida. So I'm taking Vanderbilt to win this game by probably 15. They're
Yeah,
just playing really, really well. And the only reason why they lost that SEC championship, they were going against one of the best players in the country. And McNeese does not have one of the best players in the country. So, no disrespect to McNeese. They probably have the best manager in college basketball, but that's not going to get you anywhere. So, give me Vanderbilt winning this game.
yeah. Vanderbilt obviously is might be a Final Four team. They could be a national championship team. I'm that high on Vanderbilt. Like, this team is just really good. They play McNeese, which McNeese or Clemson and Vanderbilt are completely two different teams. Clemson's slow. Vanderbilt's fast paced. They have Tyler Tanner, one of the quickest guards in the league. They're cooked. McNeese is cooked. They don't really stand a chance with athleticism here. So give me Vanderbilt winning by 12. So that's that.
Okay. Moving on. Number 4 seeded, my Nebraska Cornhuskers are taking on the 13 seeded Troy Trojans. Now, everyone's picking Troy to win this game. Everyone's picking Troy to win this game, man. And it's ticking me off. And it sure better be ticking the Nebraska players off because little lore drop here. Nebraska football played Troy when I was in 4th grade. And they almost lost to Troy in football. And it was embarrassing. I was embarrassed. So this is our chance here to take Troy down again and get the first tournament win ever. And I think they will. Really disappointing game in the Big Ten tournament against Purdue. But this Nebraska team is determined. Sam Hoiberg doesn't want his career to go out losing to frickin' Troy in the first round of the tournament. I don't think Rink Mass wants that either. Price Sanford better lock in. I understand Troy's played some pretty good games with like USC and stuff like that. But let's not forget Nebraska beat USC by like 20 earlier, about a month ago. So I think Nebraska wins this game by 10 and moves on and wins their first tournament game ever.
Yeah. You're not going to like this.
I'm leaving, bro. I'm leaving, bro. I'm leaving, bro. I'm leaving, bro. I'm leaving, bro.
Let's go.
I'm leaving, bro. I'm clipping this when we win this game. I'm clipping this when we win this game.
I'm picking Troy. I'm not confident in it.
Top 10 defense, by the way. Nebraska got a top 10 defense, by the way.
Nebraska hasn't won a tournament game. So I don't know if I can really bet on it.
Hey, it's bound to happen. It's bound to happen.
I mean, I hope so, but Troy obviously is really hot. Nebraska's only really highlight reel, in my opinion, was beating Iowa. So there's that for you.
All season, bro?
I mean, they've obviously beat Michigan State, but like when
we beat Illinois on the road.
Okay, in the last 2 months, your highlight win is against Iowa. So
yeah, it's true.
They've been playing really bad as lately, and Troy's been really hot. Like I said, like obviously, like Nebraska should win this game. Like, but I'm just picking Troy to be different here. I don't see it with Nebraska. I just don't see this team. I just don't see
I will say this. I do think this is the only win Nebraska gets, though. Nebraska wins this game. I think that's the only win they get.
They're getting built by Vanderbilt. Let's be real. So it would not be a shocker if Nebraska wins. They probably will.
But it shouldn't be. It's a freaking 4 seed versus 13.
Hey, man, 13 seeds show up decent sometimes. So I got to have an upset here. So just give me Troy, man. I'm riding with them.
Okay. Moving on. 6-seeded North Carolina Tar Heels take on 11-seeded VCU. And I can't lie, the moment I saw this on my TV, I said VCU is winning this game. VCU is going to win this game. North Carolina is not good anymore. They completely fallen off course. And it's just not looking good for the Tar Heels. And VCU is playing fantastic basketball. VCU, I think, had the possibility of making a run. Just the unfortunate thing is they'd have to play Illinois more than likely in the next round. So, but I think VCU gets this win against the North Carolina team that's really just not playing good at all right now.
Yep, VCU obviously is like one of my favorite mid-majors. I love them. North Carolina, it's only beating Duke. That's their only thing they've done this year. So they hang their hats on beating Duke, that's for sure. But VCU is just a better team. North Carolina is just a joke. Like they've been a joke for like ever since that 2021 when they beat Duke in the Final Four, which I was that. But VCU is gonna get a win. They're not going to beat Illinois though. So congrats on winning your first round though.
Yeah. Okay, so the winner of that game will play either number 3 Illinois or 14-seeded Penn. Now, Penn, their guy just dropped 44 points in the Ivy League championship game, which is really impressive. Illinois lost to Wisconsin. Now it's also also important to note that Penn is coached by Iowa's former coach, Fran McCaffrey or whatever his name is. So this dude knows how to play against Illinois. So that's an interesting thing for me here. But Illinois is just a much more talented team, um, and they got the better players. If that one dude goes out for 40 points again, who knows? Anything's possible. But the odds of that happening again are not the highest.
Yeah.
So give me Illinois winning this game by 10 to 15.
Yeah, I got this game being probably the biggest blowout of the whole tournament. I really like Illinois. I think Illinois is my winner of this region. I really like them a lot. They're better in Florida, in my opinion. Houston is 50-50, but if they beat Houston, they're easily making the Final Four. So their
Yeah,
offense is
I
just way
agree.
too
What
scary.
up, chat?
I mean, you got to love the Alani, man. You really do. Like Keaton Wagler is just something special. Let me tell you. So they're kicking the crap out of Penn. Like this is going to be the year where we actually finally get a reality check on the Ivy League schools because we've always been so high on them for no reason. So they're going to beat them by 30.
Okay. Last two games here. Number 7 seeded St. Mary's takes on number 10 Texas A&M. And honestly, when I saw Texas A&M get picked, I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot they have a basketball team. They were, and I've been saying this the last 3 days. The only reason they're in this tournament is because they were the top of the SEC for the first
Yeah,
4 months of the
totally
year.
agree. Totally agree.
If they were not first place, they would not even be in this tournament right now. Texas A&M is not a good team. I would have put probably any other team over them. And St.
San Diego
Mary's,
State, maybe.
yeah, probably honestly. But yeah, they're not good. St. Mary's, obviously tough loss to Santa Clara, but St. Mary's is still a good team. I think they win this game probably uh, probably by 15 to 20 if I'm being honest, because
Yeah,
A&M's just
agreed.
that bad. Um, and yeah, St. Mary's will move on. They'll have an interesting second round for sure.
Yeah, St. Mary's obviously is a team that plays really close in basketball games. I don't think it's going to be 15 to 20, but they're going to barely win. They usually do. But they play Texas A&M, which Texas A&M is dog water. So just, just, just give me St. Mary's, man. I can't stand Texas A&M. They've done nothing over these past 2 months of college basketball, and St. Mary's is one of the best dark horses in the country at the moment. So they could beat Houston. They could even make the Sweet 16 or Elite Eight. So give me St. Mary's.
Okay. Last game of the first round already. 2
Yep.
seeded Houston takes on 15 seeded Idaho. There's this one kid at my school. He's like, yeah, I picked Idaho to go the whole way. I'm like, all right, bro. Okay, that's interesting. I'm gonna have to disagree with that. Houston is gonna win this game by a trillion points.
Yeah.
No disrespect to Idaho, but Houston's out for blood this year, man.
Yeah.
Something's different. I know they didn't have the greatest stretch there, but they still have those really good guards. They're hungry. I think this team's a Final Four team. Obviously, that game against Illinois, I think that's probably the winner of that game will more than likely be the winner
Yeah.
of the region,
Easy.
because I'm not
Easily.
liking Florida right now. And Houston,
Yeah.
they played a good game against Arizona. I can't lie, they played them tough. But it's Idaho. Houston usually wins their first game, for the most part. So I'm going to take Houston win this game
Yeah.
by 20 points.
Yep. The only thing Idaho is good at is growing potatoes, bro. I'm not gonna lie. Like this team
Oh
is just
god.
not good. Like Houston.
Oh,
Is,
interesting. No, here. Hold on.
okay.
Breaking news.
Okay.
Breaking news. SMU player BJ Edwards will not play tonight, with an ankle injury against Miami of Ohio.
And this team's in the tournament, bro. Like freaking guy. Anyways, Houston's winning by 25. Houston, I like Houston a lot. Not as much as Vanderbilt. I might be glazing Vanderbilt too much, but
Just a tad.
I like them. I don't know if I like them over Illinois or Vanderbilt, but I sure like them a lot. So they always choke in the tournament though. So They had a good one against Duke, which I was also there for. That was pathetic. I'm just gonna leave it at that. But they obviously choked to Florida. They should have beat Florida.
Oh,
I honestly
man,
thought
they
they were
should
gonna
have
beat
won that
Florida.
game. They should have had
That
that
last
game.
that last possession was pathetic.
They were up by
against Florida.
15, though, at one point, were they not?
Yeah, they were. That
Yeah,
last
they should have.
possession
Yeah.
didn't even get a shot off. That's embarrassing. So Houston's gonna win. They're not gonna make the Final Four though. I'm confident in Houston not making the Final Four. So they'll win by 25.
Interesting. Okay. Well, boys, that does it for our first round coverage. This is low-key kind of stressful at the same time as being hyped because there's a lot going on. I'm hitting the road tomorrow at like 6 a.m.
Jeez,
For
bro.
Rapid for
That's
state.
brutal. That's
Yeah.
brutal.
Yeah, we're
You're not
hitting
gonna
the
be able to
first
watch
game.
Troy beat Nebraska or what?
No, I will be watching that. I will be well, actually I won't be because Troy will not be beating Nebraska at any point. So I will be watching Nebraska beat the brakes off of Troy.
All right.
So but yeah, we're gonna try to get as much content as we can out here. I don't know about streams because I'm obviously gonna be in a hotel with a bunch of other dudes. So maybe short.
Okay.
So maybe some short content, just rapid fire picking games. But don't worry, this will only be for the second round games. Sweet 16, Elite Eight, Final Four, Natty. We'll all be live for that. But
Yeah.
no promises for the second round. But thank you guys for watching. Be sure to like, sub, turn on them noties because we're getting ready to go here. So we'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.